WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often trying rare and exotic whiskeys. I'm not sure how rare and how exotic this is. Elvis whiskey, straight Tennessee whiskey, 45% ABV, yay. Tiger Man. So, wow. And on the side it says here, distilled and bottled in Columbia, Tennessee by Elvis Presley Spirits Company, aged at least 2.5 years. Now, over here in Europe, whiskey has to be 3 years of age. We cannot have 750 milliliter bottles. We have to actually put a nice little label on top of that. None of this happened. In Europe, we need to have an European address in case there's a recall or something like that. That didn't happen either. I bought this bottle in Germany, so it's not following all the rules, but that's okay. 65 euros is what we paid, or what I paid for it over here. And this is going to be Whiskybase 225119. So when you Google Columbia, Tennessee Distillery, you get the Tennessee Distilling Company, and called Tennessee Distilling Limited, not company, I'm sorry. Distillers of fine spirits, fine whiskey and spirits in Columbia, Tennessee. They are making a lot of juice for a lot of different people. The European brand ambassador comes over to the BCB. It's one of these big trade fairs over here in Berlin once a year where I represent another brand. And we talked, and it was like, okay, I would be interested in some barrels. And it was like, how many? I was like, I don't know, 3, maybe 5. It was like, sorry, Jason, no. So we usually start about 100 barrels. It's like, okay, I don't need a whole 100 barrels. I'm sorry. And so, but they're doing good stuff over there, and that's interesting. We'll see if I like this or not. So I'm trying to compare my whiskeys now more and more to standard products. Over here in Europe, we have the Buffalo Trace in the 0.7 liter bottle at 40%. But we can go to the travel retail bottle, which is a 1 liter bottle. We can get it for 45% ABV. So I'm comparing the 45% Buffalo Trace between 6 and 8 years of age to this 2.5-year-old Tennessee whiskey for Elvis. Now, I could have compared it to maybe a single barrel from Jack Daniels with 45%. I just don't have one open at the moment. I'm sorry. I could have done Tennessee whiskey to Tennessee whiskey. Now, I can get 2 of these in 1 liter for the price of 1 of these in 0.7. So it's about the flavor. It's about the value for money. It's about the liquid. I am not buying this bottle because Elvis is on here, all right? I'm buying it because 30 people have asked me, Jason, can I buy the Elvis Tennessee whiskey, the Tiger Man? And it's like, no, it's a celebrity whiskey. Don't touch it. And now I did it. I did a bottle share. So everyone else, at least 23 other people, now no, we have 5. We have 14 other people can also see that I'm right. And everyone that's going to watch this video is probably going to also go, oh, okay, now I understand. Now, 2 questions of the day. I'm going to do that before I do the whiskey review. The first question of the day, what is your favorite Elvis song? I'm sure everyone out there has heard Elvis's songs before in their life. I don't care if you're 18 or in America, if you're 21. Over here, you have to be in Europe, 18 to buy hard alcohol, hard liquor. But you have to be 21. You've heard that, or you're 81. You've heard Elvis, all right? So, Jailhouse Rock. I like that, all right? That's one of my favorite songs. And the second question is, what celebrity whiskey can you actually recommend? I don't think I can recommend the Elvis. I'll tell you why in a second. Bradshaw whiskey's not bad. So let's try it. Oh, let's nose it. Let's try it. Let's review it. Let's give it evaluation time here. Now the nose, ooh, it's got a bad alcoholic youthfulness going on here. This is like moonshine almost. Moonshine with a little bit of sugar added to it and a little bit of wood extract. Even the color, I hope I can represent this fairly here. First of all, I can do the glasses here. You can see a little bit of the color difference there. Even in the bottle, there's more of a color difference, I think, here. You can see here versus here. This is how bourbon should look. This is like, well, what happened? Now, a single malt that looks like that, fantastic. But a liquid that has been for 2.5+ years in a new charred oak container, it's going to be a barrel, should be a tad darker, in my opinion. All right, good. No, pepper, a little bit of clove, a little bit of honey, a little bit of spoiled milk. Something's going on in there. It's a little bit of that that nastiness going on in there. Over here, Buffalo Trace, 6 to 8 year old product. Officially, it should be 8, but they're between 6 and 8 at the moment still. This is how bourbon should smell. At least this is the benchmark. This is the standard, and everything above that's yummy, and everything below that's like, don't buy it. Why? All right. So we have some pecan, we have some tobacco leaves, we have some brown sugar, we have a lot of wood in there, we have a little bit of cinnamon, or nutmeg, and clove. This is excellent, excellent whiskey. As I said, one of these or two of these, so we're talking about 32 euros for a 1 liter bottle. Fantastic prices. And we can buy it over here. Sazerac is doing a great job in Europe. Sorry, people in America with allocations for Buffalo Trace. We can get the Eagle Rare, and we're still getting it. And probably still going to get at an affordable price, 30 euros, 35, 36 euros. And the Buffalo Trace, we have never had any shortages of either of them in the last 6 years, 7 years. So, Sazerac, Buffalo Trace, thank you for thinking about us here in Europe. We don't get hardly any Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. We don't get BTAC, as I said. Maybe 12, maybe 48 bottles hit all of Europe, and they're used for tastings, which is great. But we do get the standard stuff, and that's more than we can ask for. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, going back over to Elvis. Let's try this. 45%, well done. Better than the standard bottom 40%. This is going to be in one of the. This is going to be like the top 10 worst whiskeys I think I've had this year, from the United States. It's so young. There's a bitterness. There's a tiny little bit of sweetness, but there's a little bit of a spoiled butter. I talked about spoiled milk, but a little bit of that bad. The butter has been out in the sun too long. A little bit of that moment going on here. No. This is a D minus minus. It's almost an F. Now, value for money, F. Do not buy this. Now, if you're going to buy this and put it on your shelf and say, look, I have a souvenir. I have an Elvis bottle. You can buy the next one. You can go over here and buy the rye, which is the king. You can actually go out there and buy the Midnight Snack, which is a flavored whiskey with 35% ABV. Go for it. Put up on your shelves and look at your souvenirs. Great. But if you're going to buy the bottle for the juice inside the bottle, for a drinking experience, then I must highly recommend don't. I've been asked in Germany 30 times at least, Jason, can I buy what do you think about the Elvis? What do you think about the Elvis? It's like, no, don't buy it. And now I actually bought it, and I can 100% confirm my suspicions are true. Nothing against Tennessee Distilling Company. They're doing good things down there. But this is just too young. All right? So I've had some of the products, and I know that they make good juice. According to my information online, 80% corn, 10% rye, 10% malted barley. This needs much more time in the cask. At least I would say double the time. I'm going to add a tiny little bit of water and see if it changes it. Go down to 40% here. And then I can finally reward myself with Buffalo Trace here. Green tree sap. Wow. These are going to be kiln dried barrels, I think, and not air dried staves. This is all rush, cheap. And I'm sure since it's 65 euros, it's going to be like 30 euros just for the licensing of this from the, what does it say on the bottle here? It says Elvis and Elvis Presley are trademarks of the blah, 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 blah. rights and reserve, blah, blah, blah. So this is, and whoever the TCB is, I don't know either. All right, so the bottle's not bad. The label's okay. The whiskey itself just isn't there. I'm gonna give it a D minus for taste and an F for the value for money. So sorry. I'm gonna review the rye. I'm gonna like that. I don't know. My reward is the Buffalo Trace. Mm. It's hard to beat good Buffalo Trace for the value for money over here in Europe. As I said, 32 euros for the 1 liter bottle. Wonderful, great taste. The pecan, a little bit of the honey, roasted pecans, tobacco leaf. You get a little bit of that allspice in there. You get some brown sugar, perfectly balanced, a little bit of wood, not too much. This is what whiskey should be like. This is what bourbon should be like. Kentucky straight bourbon or any other bourbon, you need to be able to beat this. Sazerac's doing it right. I'm happy to say that, and I really, really, really enjoy this. And I hope wherever you are in the world, Australia, Europe, North America, South America, Africa, wherever you're watching this, Australia and so on, Oceania, that you can get some good old Buffalo Trace and just go back to it every once in a while and go, that's some good stuff. Now, yes, there's better stuff out there, but for value for money, this is hard to beat in my part of the woods. So, what is your favorite Elvis song, and what celebrity whiskey can you recommend? Bradshaw Bourbon and Rye from Green River, something Owensboro, Kentucky, something I can recommend so far. See you very soon. Whiskey Jason here. Thank you very much for watching, subscribing, sharing, and telling others. Bye-bye.